He's the son of a civil rights icon and carries his father's spirit wherever he goes. Martin Luther King III has been a voice for the people, just like his dad, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He's also one of the organizers behind the 57th anniversary of the March on Washington, which is happening tomorrow. Our Makia Turner spoke with Mr. King about the meaning behind this march and his message of hope.
You know, the hope that I got and derived from my father was just watching him interact with people.
He's the son of a titan of the civil rights movement.
He always made time for everyone within the crowd, and it did not matter who you were.
One whose legacy still lives on.
It was a personification of a genuine desire to help and make a difference. And I think that's what he instilled within me.
Martin Luther King III reflects on his father's love and compassion for people, values that could bring light to the dark times of today.
We have to help lift each other up, change this climate, create what my father would call the beloved community.
It was 57 years ago when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and other civil rights leaders instilled an invigorating hope in the hearts of more than 200,000 people, all who marched on Washington for jobs and freedom.
Check his pulse. Check his right. Charles, check his pulse.
But in the wake of recent tragic events like the death of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and others, the focus of this year's march will be much different.
The irony of it is 57 years later, because of a pandemic, jobs is still very much part of the objective, but it is largely focused around police brutality and misconduct. We have got to learn how to apprehend suspects without shooting them or doing harm to them. We see this over and over and over and over again happening to Black folk and in communities of color. That is not acceptable.
If your father was alive and could speak at the march on Friday, what do you think he'd tell the crowd?
He would not be addressing these issues. We would be addressing new issues. And so I believe my father would be telling us the importance of participating in this election and even elections after this. He always said a voteless people is a powerless people.
Right now, there's some people who've lost faith in humanity, others even in police. What do you say to those who need some hope right now?
You have to love people. You have to love community to be able to help community. You can't be hostile and resentful.
What do you want people to take away from the march?
Probably the overriding message that must come out, I think that we have to write our senators. We need to be lobbying, in a sense, or writing our congresspersons and our senators saying that we want legislation, not yesterday. We want legislation, not tomorrow, but we want legislation right now. We want these things voted up so that humankind is treated in a fair and just way.
A part of the dream that Dr. King saw for everyone. Makia Turner, USA 9.
Wow, and that line there, if his father was still alive, we would be addressing new issues. That was our Makia Turner reporting. Now, Mr. King says he really admires the passion of today's generation. Coming up tonight at 11, hear why he says young people do give him hope. You can also see more of Makia's interview on our website at WUSA9.com.